Greetings and salutations, this is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Indeed it is, yes, it's me.
Yeah. We're doing an unboxing video today of some Perry Miniatures Napoleonic British Light Dragoons, 1808 to 1815, which is good.
Yeah.
We're going to be using...
7 years. Yeah, maths.
Yes. Slightly shorter than the 7 Years' War.
Yeah.
Which lasted about 30 years.
Yeah, why do they call it 7 Years' War?
We're really bad at naming things. I mean, the 100 Years' War was about 90 years. So, but it's near enough to...
round it.
Yeah, but it like, which bits of the...
So they got 7 and rounded it to 30, obviously.
When did World War II start, officially?
1936.
1939, according to us.
1936.
1936, according to the rest of the world, because that's when they started fighting. We didn't America started in 42. Well, for December 41.
They started playing around the last 3 years.
Yes, they turned up for the last 3 years. Most of the world had been at war for years already. Anyway, British Dragoons from the Napoleonic era. Nice little troops. I always like British Dragoons in games. People don't tend to use them that often because they always buy the Scots Greys. I know that, we've run a figure painting service. They buy the Scots Greys and the Guards and all that sort of stuff. Never get regular Dragoons. They get British Hussars, no problem. Always miss the Dragoons out. And then Dragoons made up the majority of the British cavalry.
But were they important?
Yes,
the Scots Greys, Scots Greys.
Just like with French Dragoons.
I've seen the films.
Yeah, no, just like with French Dragoons, British Dragoons were used to transport troops. They have 2 sets of stirrups on the horse, and so people can stand either side of the horse holding on, and the Dragoons would ride troops into battle. That's what Dragoons are used for. Dragoons could also dismount and fight on foot, but most often they were used to transport troops. Nearly all French voltigeurs throughout the entire Napoleonic War went into battle on dragoon horses, which is never mentioned in films. The voltigeurs at Waterloo who fought at the La Haye Sainte, they were ridden in the night before the battle on horseback with the French dragoons.
But they were late.
Yeah, which is why the battle had already started that night, because the French cavalry, the French light infantry were already on the battlefield by the time the British turned up. But officially the battle didn't start until the daytime, when it had stopped raining and they thought the ground was good enough to fight. Light infantry had been fighting all night. Wasn't there a fight over Hougoumont the night before? Because the French were originally in Hougoumont, weren't they?
Yeah, we took it from them.
And we took it from them.
And then they took it back.
Yeah, so it was really a continuous battle that only officially started when the generals turned up. But
until Wellington said, yes, this ground is alright. And then Napoleon went, yes, this ground's alright. We'll fight out there.
But it was the French that started it, wasn't it?
Yeah, they fired cannons.
Yeah, the French started. See, the French always start it, the British finish it. Usually by running away.
I mean, Ney was going to finish it.
But none of the other commanders followed Ney's orders.
No, if they did, then we would have destroyed the cavalry and all of a sudden they would have come over the hill. Yeah. We would have been like, oh no.
Ney would have won the battle, but...
Ney would have still died.
What, Napoleon would have shot him? I mean, we shot him.
No, as in, the infantry would have arrived in time.
They would have done.
Back now.
He had us pinned for about an hour and 40 minutes.
Well, you could have marched over there in 10 minutes.
And the French infantry were just sat watching, going, no one's giving us orders to move, I don't know what to do. I'm waiting for Napoleon to come back. He's currently been sick into a bucket.
In a windmill.
So I'm not going to...
take part in this one?
Yeah, it's not going to be my fault if the French...
I heard the British like tea and crumpets, we should try it.
Yes. Well, the British would have liked tea and crumpets. We hadn't eaten for 3 days.
No.
We were starving. Wellington ordered all tobacco and alcohol to be handed, all our reserves of tobacco and alcohol to be handed out to the troops, because alcohol and tobacco took troops' minds off being hungry. Because we had no food. We'd moved sideways and left our supply train behind. So
if you're not a smoker, you're a drinker.
Yes.
Well, you're a smoker.
Everyone was a smoker then. Everyone was a drinker then.
So
Right.
basically, it was one hand you had a cigar, and the other one you had
A pint of
full
something.
bottle.
Yes. Unlike the American army, the British army wasn't dry. British soldiers made drinking part of their training regime.
Yeah. Whoever can drink the most is the officer.
Why do you think we used to win battles? We were too drunk to realise we'd lost.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Actually, I'll just open this up first. This has a quick overview of all the different uniforms. This is actually quite a useful thing, given that I'm a figure painter and I've got a lot of these. Yeah, they're in America.
Look cool though, don't they?
They do look cool. That's all the different dragoon regiments. Oh dear, the Queen's Arms there. Right. They weren't called the Queen's Own at the time. They were called that afterwards. Yeah. It was quite nice. Little sort of guide to different painting schemes. That's quite good. I thoroughly commend Perry. Right, so we have let's have a look, different bases. So we've got horse base, horse thing, where the horse is galloping and doing its little gallop thing. I really like putting horses together. I like painting
It's
horses.
satisfying when you stick horses together.
Yeah, I like painting horses. I mean, not small scale horses, but big horses, because I like doing the shading. So you got 3 different colours of brown or 3 different shades of grey, and you just layer them. But it looks really good. It's satisfying painting them, and that's the. Is that like a command unit?
Yes, no, yes, it is.
Yes, I think it's command.
Yeah, and then you've got 2 weapon sprues.
And a weapon sprue with legs and a body.
Then you just got 4, oh no, we've got 4 weapon sprues. And then you got 4 cavalry sprues.
Yeah, it's not a bad little collection. So anyway, we've gone for Dragoons because we're doing Waterloo, and this is to support your infantry.
Yeah, my British.
Yes, you lack cavalry.
Yeah, we do.
My French does not lack cavalry.
I mean, last time I had a tiny bit of cavalry, I kidnapped Napoleon and took him on British sides.
Yeah, that was your that wasn't in.
It was in 6 mil.
That was in when we used to do Napoleonics in 6 mil.
Yeah.
And you actually won the Battle of Waterloo.
Yep.
With the Dutch heavy cavalry.
It was the worst cavalry.
The worst cavalry on the battlefield.
Because I sent the really good ones in as well, and they all died.
Yeah, so you had the famously most worst unit of the entire Allied army.
Yep.
And I rolled 1s the whole way, and you rolled 6s pretty much the whole way, and you rolled my entire French army up with it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. Yeah, and then we sold the game after that.
Yeah, you didn't
take it anymore.
Yeah.
So, British Dragoons. Right, are these Dragoons or light Dragoons? These are light Dragoons, so not heavy Dragoons. Regular cavalry, they carry sabres, which is very nice. Their hand-to-hand combat is... Oh, they carry swords.
A sword?
A sword. Or sabre. Actually, no.
I think it's both, probably. It looks like a sabre to me.
No, I'm really sure. Well, you got Dragoons and you got light Dragoons. I'm thinking the Dragoons in this means heavy cavalry, which is things like your horse guard and stuff like that has been heavy Dragoons. So your Dragoons in this, your Scots Greys would be Dragoons. These are light Dragoons, so they carry sabre.
Yeah.
Scots Greys would carry sword. So hand-to-hand combat of 6.
What
It's the same as infantry.
No.
Yeah. Shooting, can't. Not allowed to. Which is actually accurate because the Dragoon rifle was mainly used to shoot game. The Dragoons would go out and shoot animals and bring them back for the army to eat. This was primarily what they were used for.
Hunting.
Yeah. Morale of 4+, which is good. Well, actually, which is normal. Stamina of 3, and they are marauders. Ooh! That's a special skill we haven't seen for a while.
Marauder.
I don't think we've seen that since our Khartoum campaign. with Gordon in Khartoum, because I think some of the bad guys in that are marauders. I know where else we're on marauders. Bonnie Prince Charlie fighting the Scots. The Scots fight the British. The Scots are marauders in that, aren't they?
Yes.
Because we got the book Last Argument of Kings, and we did that. Marauders ignore distance modifiers for command.
So just running.
Instead of costing 2 points to give an order, you cost 1, basically.
Just charging.
Yeah. It's not bad. British cavalry were notoriously hard to control, though, in real life. The British cavalry tended to be out of control in most wars. We had very, very bad command and control for our cavalry units.
It's the posh people that run them.
Yes, typically. So the British cavalry would go in, but you wouldn't be able to recall them. So once you committed your cavalry to battle, they'd wander off.
Like the Charge of the Light Brigade.
Exactly, like the Charge of the Light Brigade. They tried to withdraw them, and they ignored the orders to withdraw, and they carried on charging the Russian guns.
Yep.
Because they were mad.
Then they all died.
Yes, pretty much, most of them. Yes, they were absolutely cut to pieces. And probably the reason we won the war. Because the Russians thought we were a bunch of lunatics. They thought the British were insane and willing to just throw themselves pointlessly at cannon and stuff. So we got quite a reputation with the Russians.
What's the stupid charge at the Waterloo one?
That was Lord Uxbridge.
Yeah, what were they?
That was the heavy troops, the Ulster cavalry, and
They did the same thing.
Yes, was it Uxbridge and Ponsonby?
Yes.
Was their cavalry units? They charged in to stop. Was it the Erlong's troops?
No, they literally charged in just to get the cannons.
No, they didn't. They charged it. The French were taking Hougoumont. La Haye Sainte. And they were actually taking La Haye Sainte, and it looked like it was about to be surrounded and taken. So the cavalry charged, and they broke the French. The French didn't stand. The French broke, and so Uxbridge said, "Well, we've beaten the French. Let's just carry on going and take the French guns."
He did take the guns.
And they did take the guns. Yes, because they didn't know that the French had 2 units of lancers on both sides of the cannon, who just came straight in and cut them off.
Well, they lost the cannon.
They did lose their cannon. Oh, well, they lost their gunners. I don't think they managed to spike many guns, but the guns, the carriages were wrecked. Because what you do is you get a little bit of rope and you tie it onto the wheel.
Yeah.
And you just ride in the opposite direction, and it just tears the wheel off. And you can't put the wheel back on, not in battle, so your cannon's useless. The other way to spike a gun is to fill it with mud, and then fire it, which would make but yeah, they didn't have time to do that. Perhaps one of the worst things about that, it wasn't the loss of the British cavalry, it was the loss of the Scots. Because when our cavalry rode in, because they were dragoons, the Scots jumped onto them as they rode through. And so a lot of Scottish infantry went in with the horses, and of course they couldn't get back. And so we lost about a third of all our Scottish, our most elite troops in the British Army were the Scots.
Yeah.
Because they were the best troops. And we lost about a third of them. For nothing. We gained nothing losing the Scots there. But let's see, did Uxbridge die?
Yes. Yes, he tried to retreat, and then he gave his thing away. And then he tried to escape as well, and they all died, everyone died.
Oh, is he the guy in the film who got caught with the Lancer got him in the back? Right. Yeah.
He tells him to run, and he didn't make it.
Yes, yeah. I seem to remember reading some diaries about that. The actual, one of the Frenchmen who was there, or the Polish guy who was there, who killed, who was supposed to be the one who killed him. He wrote about it. It might be in my Napoleonic dictionary, which used to be on my bedside table. I used to read it every night, just to read a random thing in the Napoleonic dictionary to learn something. I know so many things about marriages and stuff with different French officers I never really needed to know. But it is quite a good read if you ever see the Napoleonic dictionary knocking around.
But I think that's it for the figures, isn't it?
Yes, that's it. We've waffled on. That's what we do with our videos. We
Yeah, you have to get used to that.
Yeah. See, when I'm doing videos on my own, I just say what it is, and I'm very, very straightforward and say what it. You make me waffle about random stuff, right?
It's not my fault.
Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Leave a like if you thought the video was mildly interesting. And leave any comments about stuff we obviously got wrong, because we're bound to have got something wrong with all that.
Always.
Yeah.
That's everything from me.
And everything from him.
See ya.
Goodbye.